So we've now got our generative operator fueled drone machine, which we can trance out on, bliss out on all day long. What I'm going to do now is show you how to use this single note wherever it is. See, we're going to use that to create some drum rhythms. Simple-ish stuff, but good fun nonetheless. So when I say simple, the drum rhythms will be simple, but the means and the way we go about creating it is a little bit involved. So as always, rewind the videos, pause them, have a look and see what it is I'm doing. So Apple B, Command Option B brings up our browser. You can type into the box, operator. Like that. Drag it across. And what I'm about to do is turn that off. I want you to go and I want you to turn on, first of all, the in and out settings. You can do that one of two ways. You can click on the IO button there, but I would really like you to do it by holding down Command, Option, and I. You can see there's a whole new area has been brought up. I want you to click on MIDI from, and I want to make it to the first channel 1. I want it to be post effects, and I want you to switch the monitor here to input. So now what we've done, we've taken the MIDI notes from this one and we've routed it out, through, and in to the inputs of this. If I switch this to auto or off, we won't hear anything. We've got to switch it, same as way you do with Pro Tools and DAWs like that. I've got to switch the input monitor on to here, these notes that are getting routed through here. Great. So I'm going to turn this into a kick drum now. To do so, I will use a sine wave. I'm only going to use one operator. I could turn these 3 off. Not essential, but I'll do it to show you that this is the only guy we're going to create any sound with. So once that's switched on, we're hearing things here. I don't want it to change frequencies with the pitches that come in. So I'm going to set it to a fixed frequency here. And you can hear straight away that we're only hearing this. We're going to change and adjust this over time. Don't worry about it too much. But as long as it's set to fixed, we can then start creating our kick drum with it. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to add an arpeggiator. Apple F to bring up the search. ARP. I see arpeggiator. I'm going to hit enter. Basically, automatically plays chords or single notes in a up, down, or arpeggiated fashion. As it's only getting one note at a time at the moment, it's just playing 8th notes. I want this to be a 4 on the 4 kick pattern, so I'm going to change this note to quarter note. And you can hear now, there we go, just kicks. I don't know what you're saying, that doesn't sound a whole lot like a bass drum, and it doesn't. So let's see if we can do something to it to make it sound like a kick drum. We're going to turn on the pitch envelope. We're going to increase the peak, rather. So it starts at about 36 semitone. Then I'm going to drop the sustain right down. Like that. And then drop the decay. Drop the pitch. or the frequency rather. Somewhere in the kick zone, kick drum area, 50 hertz, something like that. I'm going to go back to the pitch envelope and turn it up. And all of a sudden, we have something that sounds quite a bit like a kick drum. If I want, I can use the time setting over here to increase the time of all the envelope. I don't mind that there. But this gate setting here actually adjusts the length of the note. So I'm going to do that right there. I might change the decay of the pitch a little bit. You can hear a bit of a bleep in there. I'm just going to increase the release time so that I don't get that little bit of a click as the sound turns off. So there's our kick drum. Like I said, from very short to longer. I'm just adjusting parameters to find out where it is. I like it, and that's I don't mind it there. No, I don't like that. I want to bring that up to I'm happy with it like that. The next thing we're going to do is create a snare drum, not a hair drum, a snare drum. So let's go create another MIDI track. The way we do that, you can right click on the areas up here or two finger click, add or insert MIDI track. The other way to do that, Command Shift T. I'm going to delete these audio tracks because I just don't need them. I'm going to rename this one here. Keep the hashtag. I'm going to keep the rename there for kick. This one I'm going to rename snare. This one I'm going to rename drone. Each time I'm renaming there, click on something, Command R, rename. Similar sort of thing that I did last time. What I'm going to do is grab the MIDI from the drone track by going MIDI in, drone. I want it to be after all the MIDI effects. I'm going to go post FX, turn it to monitor. I don't hear anything here even though I am receiving MIDI notes because there's no instrument. Let's get our friend the operator over here. I can do that by going into the browser, instruments, operator, drag it on there. There it is again. Again, I want a fixed pitch, except I want it to be higher. I'm going to keep it on sine, but I'm going to turn down the envelope. I just get a quick percussive pulse once a bar. I need more notes than that, so I'm going to add a arpeggiator, same way I did before, like that. Now I've got eighth notes. I only want the snare every second and fourth beat, so I'm going to change that down to twice a bar. Make it sound a little bit more like a snare drum. I'm going to add some noise. I'm going to use this one here. Operator B will not modulate A, it would just be heard alongside it. You can hear now, it's a pitched sine wave. I don't want that. I want some white noise. Turn down the envelope. And there's an adequate snare drum. I might drop the frequency of the I like that. To get it onto beats 2 and 4 rather than on 1 and 3 where it is at the moment, what I'm going to do is use a delay. I'm going to use a simple delay. I'm going to put it on the snare track. And we're going to delay it by 2 beats. If you watch over here, I'm going to link both the left and right delay. I'm going to make it 100% wet. I'm going to put it to 4 16th notes or 1 beat. Now we're sort of getting into the realm of a delay. If I wanted to add another accented note, I could copy this delay, maybe change it so that every 16th, make it rather than 100% wet. I'm going to add the original delay back into it. Do that. I think maybe this one. That'll do it for me. I'll turn it off for the moment to keep it simple though. We've got a MIDI track here. We're going to add, you guessed it, an operator. Command F brings up operator. We're going to set the inputs from the drone. Again, I get that one lovely note. I don't want that note. I'm going to set it to, this can be a noise. Noise oscillator, and you can hear straight away that we have, now that I've pulled the envelope down, an okay sounding hi-hat, digital hat. I'm going to add an arpeggiator in front of it. There we go. notch over here. I'm going to link both the left and right delay. I'm going to make it 100% wet. I'm going to put it to 4 16th notes or 1 beat. Now we're sort of getting into the realm of a delay. If I wanted to add another accented note, I could copy this delay, maybe change it so that every 16th, make it rather than 100% wet. I'm going to add the original delay back into it. Do that. I think maybe this one. That'll do it for me. I'll turn it off for the moment to keep it simple though. We've got a MIDI track here. We're going to add, you guessed it, an operator. Apple F, Command F brings up operator. We're going to set the inputs from the drone. Again, I get that one lovely note. I don't want that note. I'm going to set it to, this can be a noise. Noise oscillator, and you can hear straight away that we have, now that I've pulled the envelope down, an okay sounding hi-hat, digital hat. I'm going to add an arpeggiator in front of it. There we go. I've got my eighth notes. It sounds a little bit robotic, so I'll show you a little trick about how to create some groove using delays. And what I'm going to do is turn it down a little bit. If I set it to quarter notes, I've got my 4 on the floor, but let's use a delay again. Typing in delay, simple delay, to shift it from being on the hard rock beat. I'm gonna add a little bit of delay, 2 16th notes, and now we're on the upbeats, which is giving us our classic house beat. I'm just mucking around there. I might actually turn up one of these other operators. And you'll notice that it doesn't do anything at all. And I would say that's because I'm using a sine wave to modulate noise. And as the noise is already very noisy, we can't make it any more noisy. So there you go. Single operator. I'll turn on the others off. Like that. Again, if we wanted to add some variation, I could change my delays. I'm going to unlink these so I can have a different delay time in the left and the right. Increase the feedback. I don't mind that. So without the delay, we've just got a 1, 2, 3, 4 on the beat. Put the delay in, we've now got some groove on the hi-hat. So that's my introduction to generative music. We'll be doing more things like this in the future. Hopefully you've got a little bit of an idea and insight into what's possible with Ableton by doing this. If anything's not clear to you, please shoot me an email. And yeah, I look forward to catching up with you next week in class. We'll be looking at another subject. But yeah, please run with this and have fun with it.